as humans, the only way for us to evolve is for us to go closer to technology. And artificial intelligence is bridging the gap between human intelligence and technology. Like, how can we use our brains and our minds, of all of the collective consciousness of all humans, and and teach that to technology so that it understands it. So then we get closer together to progress in the future, right? So I think that yes, it's growing closer, and it's almost one of the same, and it will become one of the same, like the technology of our phones that we use, but then it uses artificial intelligence inside of that technology. And then the cameras that I use to even film this is using artificial intelligence to simulate the background or whatever I need it to be. So I think that AI and tech will just become almost one of the same.
Welcome to AI for Thought, the podcast where we explore the perspectives of latest AI influencers around the world. And I'm excited to have all of you with us today. Today we have Akil with us, who is also known as the Wolf of AI. And he's also a content organization expert altogether. So we have a very interesting topic that we're going to talk about today is that how and why AI automation is the next big thing in tech. So we're going to be covering a lot of insights and ideas, and I hope that you all are going to be enjoying. So let's get into it. Akil, can you tell us that why AI automation and agents they have gotten all of this buzz lately? What's the main reason behind it?
Yeah, I think that the main reason why there's so much buzz around AI right now is because the governments really allow regular humans to progress, right? Like when people think about AI, they think it's this new thing, but we've been using AI for a long time. Even when people use Google and they use these big search engines and they use SEO and they're able to search things and find information so fast. Like companies have been doing this for years and years, right? But now they've let it be open source or let like regular people see what we can create because I think that we're in this age of progression, right? Like before we used to use cars and before cars we used to use horses, right? So then we had to evolve, and I think it's just a time for us to evolve, and basically AI is that vehicle to take us to the next level, to merge closer to when it comes to technology. So I think that that's pretty much why we've got so much of an AI buzz now, because it's just in 2024 it's hard to hold information back.
So,
Definitely.
do you think that in the future, our everyday lives will have AI automation completely, where even humans would not be required, to use AI, and AI would just do the task, which is actually happening. There's AI agents, there's Claude as well, which completely controls your computer. So, do you think that in the future this can happen, that AI completely takes over our everyday life? We won't even need to use it.
Definitely, 100%. I think so. I think that it's not even like I think so. I kind of know so at this point. Because even if how you look at how technology is now, right? Like people aren't aware of artificial intelligence. Like people hear it, they're like, oh, this AI stuff. They pretty much don't even really know what it is. But with Apple Intelligence rolling out, and now 2 billion humans would just automatically just start using AI instead of Siri, then people become more aware of it. People start using it. And then us humans, for our collective consciousness, we always think about how to do things for our convenience, right? Like before, everyone used to hand wash their food. Now they have dishwashers, and then they used to like heat up their food with the fire, but now everybody uses microwaves, right? But I think it's just another form of progression because it doesn't make any sense to just do things like previously. Before, a lot of everywhere in the world, we used to use manual cars, which was stick shift. But in America, like it's very, very difficult to find a stick shift car. Like in my entire life, I never driven a stick shift car until I went to a different country, and I'm like, wow, people actually do this. And I think that's going to be the same way when it comes to this type of technology. Like, why would we have someone flip a burger when that basically makes us as humans slow down and it makes us as humans inconvenience ourselves? And I think that we'll get to a point to where we just need to entertain ourselves. And I think that's the next phase.
Yeah, that's true. So you talked about Siri and even Alexa as well. So what is the difference between these virtual assistants and AI agents and AI automation? What's the difference between these two?
Yeah. So the difference between a virtual assistant or an a AI agent compared to a regular agent is a regular agent can, let's just say, do a few actions. I think that everything comes down to outputs, right? A lot of people think about money and they think about work. Let's just use the word work. Work is, they think of it as like you do something and then you get something in return. Like you push something and then that's physical work, right? But I look at work as leverage plus outputs. Like the more things you put out in the world, the more you get back. So when you think about the hardest worker in the world, it's not the person in China in a sweatshop. It's probably someone like Elon Musk because he's doing the most, right? But him as one human can't actually do that much. But he has so many other moving parts, so he can put out a lot of outputs. And the thing about a regular agent or a human agent, I guess you can call it, is you only can do a certain amount of outputs as because we only have 24 hours. So let's just say you can do 100 actions. You can send 100 emails, maybe. You only can send 20 something DMs before they restrict you on Instagram or on these other social media platforms. But with an AI agent, you can do 4 million actions. You can have AI agents empowering other AI agents to do more actions. So when it comes to automating sales, marketing, advertisement, anything like that, you can have a AI agent, which is essentially a large language model, look up information for you. You can also automate it to where it can actually put out the information for you. So all I think humans need to really do is just understand how to do it and take advantage of it.
So, what type of AI agents or even AI tools do you use in your daily life?
Yeah, so I use tons of different tools. I use tons of different agents. I've actually built a company. It's called Leads Flow. So it's try Leads Flow at the time at the moment. And what we do is we build AI appointment setters. So basically, people always need to get on calls, especially if you're selling something, right? If you sell something over the price of 100 US dollars, you probably need to tell them what you're selling before someone wants to just purchase something online. Like you want to actually see the product, you want to talk to the people, you want to see how that person can help you. But the problem is we usually have, like you said, a regular human appointment setter. That's what we call it. A person to literally reach out to them, get on WhatsApp, talk to them. But what we do is we build AI agents so that they can automatically talk to them on WhatsApp, text message, Instagram, DM them, email them. And it sounds exactly like us because it's trained on only our business. And then it can also call them. And then it sounds like a human. They pretty much don't even know that it's not a human if they didn't ask. And then it books them on our calendar automatically. So I set that up for my clients and we build AI appointment setters. So that's something that I use on a day-to-day basis. And also I use ChatGPT more than anything. I would guess I can say. I went back and forth between Claude and other language models, but I love that ChatGPT is focused on its voice features and also focused on GPTs, which allows me to do anything that I can think of. So say, for example, I want to create a video right now on bugs in India. Let's just say, for example, I can literally type that into ChatGPT and say, hey, use Opus clips to create this bugs in India video, and then it can do it in seconds. So a lot of people look at ChatGPT as this place where you can just talk to it and then get an answer, but actually it's connected to everything on the internet. So you can command it to do literally anything. If you want to build something, if you want a business plan, if you want it to be your software engineer, anything. So that's something
Yeah.
that I use on a day-to-day basis. And I also use very powerful CRMs. One that I use a lot is called High Level, Go High Level. So basically, that is the powerhouse behind my businesses because what it does is it uses AI to basically manage anyone that comes in contact with businesses. So I think that for the average person, there's so many tools out there, and AI is just a tool to get you to where you need to go. So if you're a skateboarder, you can use AI tools to find new skateboards that are about to come out in the market. I don't know, but you just have to use it to your advantage in whatever field you're in.
Yeah, that's right. So you also design an AI agent yourself. So can you tell us that what do you think that do AI agents be as creative as humans, or are AI agents completely, controlled by programming and they're nothing without programming? So are they creative or not?
Okay, that's a great question. I feel like they can be as long as you know how to communicate with it, right? Because basically when it comes to AI, you're feeding this database or this language model information. So the better information you put in, the more human-like it sounds. So if you even tell it, like, I want you to sound exactly like a human from 1989 in Poland, the country Poland, and sound like a specific person, then it can literally go to the internet and soak up all the information about that specific person and then sound exactly like them. But for example, I think a lot of people go wrong by just commanding AI to do it all for them and figure it out. But the thing is, it's too much information. So what we do is we give it specific information to train on. So say, for example, like for my Instagram and my other pages, I own about 4 other Instagram accounts with millions of followers. I'm also partnered with ChatGPT Tricks, which we have like 1.2 million
I saw
followers
that.
on there. But we make AI news content. We have AI news channels. So I have a few channels like that. And how we do it is we have models trained on viral content. So it's better than a human can be because it's literally it knows all the things that we like based on so many videos that we fed it. So it's only fed information and the information when it comes to viral content and it spits out that viral content. So yeah, I think that it can be better than humans and a lot of times it is better than humans and it's just getting better. And there's so many ways to do it. There's just so many ways to go about it when it comes to AI.
Yeah. So do you think that companies are monetizing this AI agent and automation era, or are they still lacking behind? Do you still think that, the traditional human approach is better because you're part of the industry as well?
Yeah, I mean, the majority of companies in the world are still behind, but that's just how human adoption is. Like, it'll take it's change. So anything when it comes to changing, people don't like to change because they just are stuck in their ways. So I think it's a lot of opportunity for people that have their own SaaS companies or people that they're AI agents or growth experts or prompt engineers. It's a lot of space to actually talk to companies and improve them because they're aware of AI, but the thing is, when it comes to changing things in the company, you have to look at it like a brick and mortar business, right? Like for example, my favorite spa is called the One and Only here in Cape Town, and I just left the One and Only, and I went there and they said they're opening in December, but they've been closed for like 3 months now because they've been doing renovations. But you can physically see the renovations that they're doing there, and I can see how much time it takes for them to make just micro changes inside of their company. But digitally, it's the same thing. So when a company has thousands of employees and they have hundreds of thousands of data points daily and they have so many clients, it's hard to just be like, oh, let me just implement an AI strategy and change our whole business model because now you're slowing down something or payments may be missed or you're changing technology. So I think that companies want to, but they just don't know how to. So if you can bridge that gap, there's a lot of opportunity.
So when it comes to, thinking about AI ethically, do you think that, feeding AI agents with a lot of sensitive data can be a problem with consumer trust in the future?
Um, I feel like when it comes to security in AI, it's very difficult to be secure when everything is like, for example, when you turn on your laptop, you probably use like a MacBook, but you're giving your information to Apple. So if you put anything in Apple computers or Apple phones or whatever, your information is pretty almost public pretty much. So for me, I'm not really afraid of security or hiding information because all of your information is already readily available. And I think a lot of times people are scared because they're like, oh, someone's going to take my money if they know my information. But I think at the end of the day, a company doesn't really care. They don't care about your money or your finances because they have unlimited funds and they're supported by beyond governments. And it's just a matter of the most important thing is attention. So if you garnish other people's attention, then you'll always have financial freedom or you'll have the ability to create what you want. And yeah, there may be people that create things similar to you, but that's okay because it's a world it's a space that is so large because it applies to everyone and only a small percentage of people are using artificial intelligence at the moment.
So you're also, the owner of an AI agent. So what do you think, what is the most important skills that people do require if they want to create their own AI agent, instead of just keep using the same ones? So what skills do you think, like you talked about prompt engineering, and there are a lot of coding skills that you might require. So what skills do you think are the most important when it comes to building an AI agent?
I think the skill that's most important is to write, to literally write on a desktop. Let's just say if you use the Notes app or you use Notion or you use anywhere you need to write, that's probably the most important skill because without the information, a model can't be trained on anything, right? So I think that when people record videos or if they write or if they do audio, that's step one, and that's the most important. Because soon as because the thing is, it's better to have the information and the content before actually trying to build something with no information, right? So the house doesn't really matter. Like if you can use something like Notebook LM, which is Google's open source platform that you can go ahead and create your own agent essentially because you can just throw any information inside of it and then from there it's trained on only that information and then from there I think that's where you start by just gathering your information or the data that you want to create and then from there you start with something small like Notebook LM and then you can move up to something like Bot Press where you will start to learn steps and different nodes to be able to communicate with AI on a deeper level. So I would say just start with the information and then you can go ahead and study people or follow people like me or other entrepreneurs online that teach people how to create these chatbots.
So what are the challenges, that you face by creating an AI agent or, using AI generally? What challenges do you face? And you still think that AI has a long way to go in these areas of improvement. So what do you think about that?
What challenges? I mean, the challenges is learning. I think the biggest challenge that you face is trying to figure out why you're doing it. I think that's the biggest challenge because a lot of people go out there in business and they're like, oh, there's a new opportunity. So say for example, like people are like, oh, I see a shiny object. They're like, this thing is cool. I know it's the future, right? But like, what do you want to build with it? What are you doing with it? Because if you don't clearly know what you're doing, then you're gonna waste a lot of time because the thing is when it comes to AI is it needs a leader, right? It needs someone to tell it what to do. And then if you know how to tell it what to do, then you can get better information out. But if you're not telling it what to do, then it's just going to look like a baby. It's going to just sit there and not know what to do. It's going to be, you know. So I think at the end of the day, the biggest challenge is just figuring out exactly what you want, but you can use AI to figure out exactly what you want.
So
Definitely.
like you said that, AI agents always require a leader. So how about those people who have not yet learned about AI? Do you think that AI will, take over their jobs very easily and very soon?
Um, it depends. It depends on what people are doing. But eventually they're I don't think it's gonna be AI that's taking people's jobs. I think it's the people using AI taking people's jobs, right? So
Yeah.
say for example, like for me, like I essentially will go into a company and save them more time and make them more money. So they'll lay off their employees. It's not AI that's taking their job. Is me replacing 30 people because I'm able to work faster than them. So I think, yes, people can, I guess you can say, lose your jobs, but I wouldn't be scared of losing your jobs. I would be more focused on learning what it is and how it works. Because I think the thing about humans, and maybe if you're watching, this can be really powerful for you, but I think that the universe or the society we live in does a very good job at making sure you don't ask the question why, right? Like even when you go to school and you get good grades and you really don't question like why you're doing this, right? Because you're like, okay, why? I want a degree. Why do you want a degree? Oh, because I want a job. But I really don't want a job. I just want to support myself. Okay, why do you want to support yourself? But when you keep asking the questions why, then you get more answers. And I think in our society, people don't ask the question like why or what is money, right? Like what is this thing that we call money? And if you always never question what the thing is, you'll always be scared of losing what you have. Because for me, I think it's more important to ask, like what is AI? What is artificial intelligence? And why is it so powerful? Or why can it do the things that it can do? And once you just understand that basic thing, it'll make you think in different ways. Like, oh, how could I use this to my advantage? And then you can set yourself in a better position, I guess you can say, out of this is summarizing everything that I'm basically talking about because I think that at the end of the day, like I mentioned before, it's not AI taking your jobs, the people using AI take your job. And people need more people using AI at the end of the day. They need more prompt engineers. They need more people that are making how-to videos. So that can be you.
So, like you mentioned about how-to videos and also, what type of content are people liking these days when it comes to specifically AI influencers? Because AI influencers, they're just emerging after all of this AI and tech has come into being. So, what type of content, as an a content creator, do you think people like on Insta, on other any type of social media platform? What do they like other than how-to guides?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they like anything, right? Like the thing is, we as humans wake up and we consume information either through books, audio, through movies, whatever. We learn things. We're constantly learning from our environment. We're learning from other people. We're learning on social media. We need information. Like we need to feed our brain. And so no matter what, like I can pick up right here. I've got some glasses sitting here, and people can people know what glasses are, but then you can go deeper and be like, what are the UV rays in the glasses, or what are the prescriptions that you can use in the glasses? Because people want to know every single thing about every single thing. But when it comes to something new like artificial intelligence hitting this space, now you can just answer the question of what is this thing with artificial intelligence. So say for example, if I have a phone charger and it's like I have this phone charger that uses artificial intelligence to predict when your phone is going to die, and then it makes sure it stays charged. Then you can make a video of like, what is this device that they've created? For example, I just worked with this tool yesterday and they've made these like robotic legs, but it's just a attachment. It goes onto your pants. So you basically pull up your pants and then it's on your pants and it lifts your leg for you. So say for example, if you're going hiking, then it will do 50% of the hiking for you because it uses AI to figure out how much willpower or how much force you're using to hike. So people want to know like what that is. People want to know how it works. People want to know, should I buy it? And it uses artificial intelligence. So I think that information is huge, like education. So if you're giving people education, or if you're entertaining people, so you can entertain people by telling them cool AI gadgets or what's going on in a space. And so I think entertainment, education, and some type of personality or branding. So for me, I have a personal brand. So you can use AI to talk about your personal brand. For me, they call me the wolf of AI because I literally am so deep in the AI space. So and I've created a personal brand of how I attack AI. So I think that at the end of the day, you can use it to build your personal brand so people can know you and you can use AI tools to go ahead and push out your personal brand faster.
That's right. So, when it basically comes to AI and tech, do you think that there's a lot of integration between AI and tech is very important? And if yes, then what type of technology is are required when it comes to AI? Because before AI, tech was just any other industry. I'm not part of the tech industry. I'm part of marketing. But now I believe that with the emergence of AI, learning tech has become a basic necessity, no matter what role you are in. So, do you also think that?
Yeah, I think that the thing about tech and AI is as humans, the only way for us to evolve is for us to go closer to technology. And artificial intelligence is bridging the gap between human intelligence and technology. Like, how can we use our brains and our minds of all of the collective consciousness of all humans and and teach that to technology so that it understands it. So then we get closer together to progress in the future, right? So I think that yes, it's growing closer and it's almost one of the same, and it will become one of the same, like the technology of our phones that we use, but then it uses artificial intelligence inside of that technology. And then the cameras that I use to even film this is using artificial intelligence to simulate the background or whatever I need it to be. So I think that AI and tech will just become almost one of the same.
That's right. So, at the end of the interview, would you like to give any message to our viewers? Because a lot of people are overwhelmed by AI right now, especially those who don't have much knowledge. So, what message, as an AI tech person, would you want to give to everyone?
Yeah, I guess the tip or advice I would have is it's okay to feel overwhelmed and it's okay to feel like you don't know where to start. And like that feeling is normal, right? And it probably gives you a lot of anxiety if you're watching, right? But the thing about anxiety is newness equals anxiety. So whenever you do anything new, you'll probably have some type of anxiety. If that's cutting on the camera or if that's driving somewhere you haven't been before, and you be like, it may be unsafe. I get it. It's new, right? And you know, if you can literally look it up, like the interviews on TV before computers, before Apple released their stuff, or even the touch phones. Like there were so many people that were like, "Oh, this thing we call internet, that's not going to work." That they were like, "This is going to be a bubble. It's not going to work," and then all of a sudden it worked, right? And it's always those people that are scared, so they try to talk about like why it wouldn't work. And then there's those people that start to pave the future because they think about like why it would work. So when I think about AI, think about it as it's something that saves people time because it's a tool that you use. It saves people time, which is the most valuable thing on this earth. It saves people money, which is currency and which you need to survive. So it literally makes survival easier for humans at the
Yeah,
end of the day. So you can run away from that all you want, but then at the end of the day, no matter what, you'll still use it because it's gonna be in your phones and you're already using it. And if you're scared of them having your information, they already have your information because you have a
yeah,
phone and you're watching this video, probably on YouTube, and YouTube is owned by Google, and Google has everything that you've ever done on your phone. So don't be scared. Like, just don't be scared. If you can't beat it, you gotta join it.
that's true. So it was very great having you, Akil, and thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much for tuning into this conversation. This episode is part of a special short series I'm recording. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're enjoying these episodes and want to see more, let me know.